Have you ever been on one of those AI projects that just kind of loses its way? It's not officially dead, but it's definitely not delivering anything either. It's a super common, super frustrating problem. But don't worry. Today, we're going to dive into a playbook for turning those stalled projects around and actually recovering your ROI.
This quote just hits so hard, right? Because it perfectly captures the pain. See, a dead project is over. It's done. But a stalled one? That's a zombie. It's still shambling around, alive on paper, silently bleeding your budget, your team's energy, and their morale, all for a promise of value that just never shows up.
And look, this isn't some rare niche problem. The numbers are, well, they're kind of shocking. One study projected that by 2025, a whopping 42% of companies would have just scrapped most of their AI initiatives. That is a huge number, and it just goes to show how many organizations are really struggling to get this right.
And if you thought that was bad, get this. Gartner research shows that nearly 80% of AI projects never even make it out of the pilot phase. So if you're feeling this pain, believe me, you are not alone. The real question is, what are you going to do about it?
Okay, so first things first, you gotta know your enemy. Before we can even talk about a fix, we need a really precise diagnosis. It's absolutely crucial to understand why a stalled project, specifically, is the real epidemic we're seeing in the business world today.
So this is a really, really important distinction to make. Failed versus stalled. A failed project, it gets a clean burial. The budget gets pulled, the team moves on. It's decisive. A stalled project, though, that's the one that just lingers in this weird limbo, sucking up resources without ever producing results. That's the one we need to tackle.
All right, time to play doctor. Let's move into the diagnosis phase. Think of this next part as a checklist. We're going to walk through the most common symptoms of a stalled project, so you can see which ones might be hitting a little too close to home with your own initiatives.
So how do you know if your project is actually on life support? Let's break down the big red flags. And as we go through them, be honest with yourself. See how many of these sound a little too familiar. Symptom number 1. This one's a classic, no clear success metric. You get these really vague, fluffy goals like, let's improve the customer experience with AI. I mean, it sounds great in a PowerPoint deck, but if you don't have a single measurable KPI, like, say, reduce customer churn by 5%, then your project is just drifting. It's basically AI for AI's sake. Next up, the lost sponsor. This is an absolute project killer. A real executive champion gives you air cover, they knock down barriers, and they keep the project on everyone's radar. When they leave or just lose interest, the project starts to wither on the vine. And here's a key insight. Sometimes a half-hearted sponsor is actually worse than no sponsor at all. It gives you this false sense of security, keeping the project in that zombie state without any real power to move forward. And symptom number 3. The ROI was pure fantasy from day one. This is what we call innovation theater. You know the type. The project got the green light because of hype, not because of a solid business case. If nobody on the team can clearly say exactly how this thing is supposed to make or save money, well, it was always doomed to stall. Oh man, you hear this one all the time, right? This is the voice of the sunk cost fallacy, and it's one of the most powerful psychological traps in business. You've poured so much time, so much money into something that you feel emotionally trapped. You have to see it through, even when all the data is screaming at you to stop. And here is the perfect way to break free from that trap. You just have to reframe the question. That past investment, it's gone. Poof. The only decision that matters is the one you make today. If you had a fresh £1,000,000 right now, would you invest it in this project? If the answer is no, well, you've got your decision. Okay, diagnosis is done. Now for the hard part, which is also the most important part. It is decision time. This brings us to the absolute core of this playbook, a super simple but really powerful triage framework. You've got 3 options: recover, pivot, or kill. And to make that choice, you just need to ask 3 straightforward but brutally honest questions. First, on a purely technical level, does the model actually work? Like in a lab, does it do the thing it's supposed to do? Second, is there a real, measurable business outcome tied to it? And third, and this is critical, do you have a truly committed executive sponsor for a disciplined 90-day recovery sprint? So your answers to those 3 questions map directly onto this matrix. It's pretty simple. If you get 3 yeses, congratulations, you've got a quick win. Your job is to recover it. If the tech works and the ROI is there, but you have no sponsor, that's an orphan. And you have to kill it. Harsh, but true. If the tech is cool, but the business case is missing, you've got a solution looking for a problem. Time to pivot to a new use case. And if you get 3 big no's, well, you've got a zombie. Kill it immediately. So let's say you ran the triage and good news, you've got a quick win on your hands. The project is deemed recoverable. Fantastic. Now, let's get into the concrete action plan. This is a disciplined, no more excuses framework to get it back on the rails. We break the plan into 3 30-day sprints. The first month is all about that emergency triage and getting every single stakeholder aligned on one new single goal. The second month is a heads down, no distractions, technical cleanup. That means fixing all the messy code and shortcuts from the past to make sure the foundation is solid. And that final month, that's all about getting it into the hands of real users and proving it actually delivers real value. And here's why this plan actually works. It's all about discipline. Each of those phases has a concrete, non-negotiable deliverable. By day 30, you must have a signed one-page charter with one success metric. By day 60, that model has to be deployed and monitored. And by day 90, you produce a final document with a data-backed recommendation. Scale it, pivot it, or kill it. There's just no more room for drifting. Okay, let's talk about the final piece of the puzzle. And honestly, this might be the most important mindset shift of all. We have to completely reframe what success means. The goal isn't to save every single project. No way. The goal is to make a decisive, productive choice for the business.
And this brings us to this powerful idea of productive termination. Now, this isn't failure, not at all. It's a strategic reallocation of your resources. Killing a zombie project frees up your best people, your budget, and your focus to work on something that actually creates value. The most successful organizations out there are often the ones that are best at doing exactly this.
So it all comes down to this. Recovery is a discipline. It's not some desperate last-ditch effort. It requires an honest look in the mirror and decisive action. You now have the framework to make that call. So take a hard look at your stalled initiative and ask yourself, is this a winner you can save or a zombie you need to kill? The choice is yours.